Alright guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero, Season 1, Episode 21. A Wager That Defies Despair. Sounds like a pretty interesting title to me, I guess. Last time, we had a whole bunch of stuff with Wilhelm. We started fighting the White Whale. Wilhelm died, kinda. I don't know if he's actually... I'm kinda doubting he's dead. For real. And I don't know, the whale split up into a bunch of whales and is kind of messing them up now. So, and I don't know, I'm still unsure about their ability to actually defeat it, but I feel like we kind of got it. So, I guess we'll see what is going to happen. We are watching Season 1, Episode 21. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Lots of them. Yeah, what do we do now? Although I'm still not sure if it's like real, you know? Hmm. Oh, Wilhelm. Oh, he's in there messing it up. Oh God. Oh, nice, nice save. Not anymore. Not anymore. No more sloth for us. Oh God. What do we do though? Ah, no opening, man. I say just made the episodes longer and gave us the opening. How do you even jump that high? How is that possible? Like, I was saying all that stuff about how they were so high up, how do we beat them? But apparently we could just jump up there. Oh, God. Okay, I... sure, if you say so. God, it's so dark. Hmm. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. But... Yeah, true. We remember him. He still could have been killed in a different way, though. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense, right? Mm-hmm. Just like, I mean, it's been doing weird shit like this that's playing with your senses, you know? So, makes sense. I mean, are they all equally injured? Can you tell which one's real by the one that has the same injuries as the one you guys were fighting? Like, it should have its eye, like, gouged out, you know? Oh, God. They are out of it. Man, does she even need any help? That weapon is OP. Oh, God. Uh-oh. Alright. Although, yeah, not doesn't seem like it's actually doing much. Okay. Oh, God. Alright. Mm-hmm. Willpower isn't enough, huh? God. Nice. Alright. I forgive you two for now. For the crime of being weird. But how do we even know this one's real, right? Like, okay. Okay. Good. Is he that important to the cause? I think, you know, like, is he individually gonna be the one who takes down the whales? Like, maybe, I guess. Okay, great impression. Thank you. Hmm. True. Light. I don't. What are we talking about? Something about its Halo thing? Did the weird... I guess this one doesn't have one of the weird Halo thing, so maybe that is... Okay. Seems like kind of like a dead giveaway, to be honest. Man, what kind of magic is that supposed to be? Like, remember when they told us all of the, like, the different kinds of magic? We didn't know about sound magic. Oh, let's go. Man, how is he alive? That's crazy. Oh, well, you lived, right? I hope. Get him to Ferris. Mm-hmm. Hmm. So that one has to be the real one, yeah. Hmm. Why didn't it... Did it divide? Or are those ones just... Okay. Okay. I guess they all do have the halo. Just, it is the eye. Sure. And it just didn't have the halo in that one shot. Yeah, no kidding. I think you just need to get the big one. The real one, up there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it has to have some level of intelligence then, right? Hmm. We'll just keep swinging it. Swing it a million times. Surely one of them will hit. Unless it takes mana or something. God, this episode is so dark, it's hard for me to see. I got the light on. What's his plan? What is his plan? Just to lure it down again with the witch scent thing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that would work at this point. Yeah, it would really suck if they mustered all of this together and they still couldn't even kill the white whale, you know? When this is like they did all of this. Man. All right. Let's go, I guess. I don't know what the gamble entails exactly. Oh god. Oh, nice. Man, that sword is insane. Oh, it's like the parting of the sea. Oh. Man, and despite all I said about how it's like she has to be here for political reasons, it's not like she's dead weight, she's kind of carrying it, isn't she? I guess her it's not just for show that she wants to be the one to do this, you know, she yeah. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe physically, I guess, yeah. God, he's gone Subaru has gone from being a loser and, you know, the way he was acting before episode 18 or even in episode 18 to being the one who inspires others to act, you know? We have certainly dealt with sloth, haven't we? Is that's one of the guys who like has a grudge against it, right? I think so. That group of people that we met up with. Big. The giant, crazy, cannon-looking things. Let's go. Why don't we just keep firing those over and over again? They have a cooldown. It's true, but that's okay. What is our plan exactly? How do we get up there? Up the tree? We're gonna run up the tree or something? Okay. So, man. No? Was he on it or something? I mean, I didn't see him, but... Yeah, but okay. What is he gonna do on the whale, huh? What's the plan? He's on the... Okay. Alright. Sure. Oh my god. A lot of faith, huh? Oh, doing it again, yeah. Ooh. He's really playing with fire here. Oh god. He is really playing with fire with that. Oh, man. Oh. It's interesting. I'm gonna have to talk about it, about that. About how it's interesting how it seems like the witch wants him to succeed in these things he's doing for some purposes we didn't understand, but even in a situation like that where there's no one to hear him actually saying it, she still reacts like that. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Let's go. We saved each other. God, the whale noises are just awful. They bother me. Oh, God. What are we gonna do? Take what? Okay, sure. Oh? We're blowing up the tree. Okay. Silly me for saying that the tree is gonna be important. Okay. Rip tree, I guess. It looks like that's gonna work. Yeah. It would also... God, yeah, the shockwave is gonna be insane. Oh, God. Man, they got it. I'm gonna hope that it can't just, like, turn into mist and disappear. Maybe that just killed it, and it doesn't have a chance, though. Ooh. Is this her becoming the Sword Saint? Or was she already... No, she was already the Sword Saint before they met, right? Because he called her the Sword Saint. Hmm. uh, I wonder, does it really even help, you know? Like, I guess killing it is good, you know? It won't be able to kill anyone else, but I'm gonna bring your wife back, unfortunately. Oh, he won! I did not think he was gonna win. Wow. Hmm. Uh-huh. That's how she feels about it, right? Willing to take that burden for her. Surely he likes him now. All right. Ah, rough. Hmm. Very interesting, right? It's like I guess he freed her from the responsibility that I imagine she like felt trapped by, right? Because she didn't have a reason to use the sword other than she just felt like she had to, I guess, because how skilled she is, you know. And she ended up dying for it anyway. The white whale ended up killing her, right? So that's kind of sad. I wonder what the actual situation in which the white whale killed her is. Like, was she still? I don't know. I don't know. Like, it makes you think that she wasn't actually able to give it up completely. Hmm. But I guess, right, it's he thinks he failed to protect her, right? That's why it's so meaningful to him, killing the white whale, because it's what he must have failed to do so long ago, you know? As if he was stronger, he had managed to kill it, it wouldn't have killed her. And that was supposed to be his whole reason for using the sword, right? God, he would probably... Man, I don't know. I'm just imagining the situation in which she died, you know? Like, it would be so easy for him to just blame himself for it entirely. We'll talk about it. Flowers. We made it. We made it. It did end up taking kind of the entire day at sunset now, so... Or the entire night. We gotta get going. God, how did they even knock that thing down? Yeah. that's less important. It's okay. Well, maybe. I don't know. Hmm. Sure. Okay. Your involvement will still be known, that's for sure. But it was because of Subaru, right? It really was. He has someone else who needs that from. Hmm. Okay. Sure. Okay. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to say. Just the truce, huh? Oh. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me. You've earned her trust. Kind of the opposite of what Priscilla said to him about how she would hate him forever. Don't say that. Oh, come on. Hmm. No time for any of that. A fist bump and a handshake. God, what are you gonna do? How? Should just let it stay here and become fertilizer. Absolutely. Something much more important. Mm-hmm. Wonder if he's gonna feel guilty about it at all. I don't know. I mean, obviously, they all think it was worth it, right? To deal with the white whale. Hmm. And he didn't even know. Mm-hmm. He did it. I think it means more to Wilhelm than anyone else. Hmm. Was it her sword? Okay, yeah. I assumed that was kind of part of the plan already, because we kind of need some backup at the mansion still. Oh. Oh no, is she gonna have to stay behind? Aw. She used too much mana or something? Or is it just physical exhaustion? Hmm. Subaru knows how to deal with these emotions now, though, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, he's gonna dump you in a bite in the ditch. What do you mean, Rim? Come on. God. Just think about how amazing, even more amazing Subaru has to seem after all of this. I don't know. Just crazy. It's what he needs, though, I think. Man, it feels like this is like the end of the arc, but it isn't. Man, that scene kind of makes me worry, though. Are we gonna, like, Rim stand behind? Are we gonna be separated from Rim for a while or something? That really feels like a pretty proper farewell or something, you know? Especially with that scene, how emotional it was. That kind of worries me. I don't know. Like, what's gonna happen? We're gonna get back to the mansion? We're gonna have to travel across the country? Okay, what are you? Sure. I'll count on it. You can redeem yourself for what you look like. The Merchant Information Network. Great. Ooh, Julius. Surely he's prepared to face him now, right? And not act like a dumbass. And I hope Subaru's behavior has redeemed him in the eyes of Julius too. Oh man, I he's kind of done miraculous things, so I would certainly hope so. Oh, come on. Hmm. I guess I get it though. He hasn't dealt with this yet. Yeah, right. It would be so easy to still blame everything on him, you know. Like he hasn't really directly dealt with those emotions yet. So I get it. I get it. Okay, we will talk about the episode in the discussion. Alrighty, let's talk about the episode. So, we have defeated the White Whale. Finally. Finally. It was a how many episodes long was this battle? Kind of technically 3, but it kind of just showed up in that first one. But we've actually done it. I'm quite surprised. Yes, I can't decide how intelligent I think the White Whale was, because I guess it had some kind of survival instinct to at least back up and hang around in the sky for a while, but it did decide to chase Subaru down like an idiot and get owned by the tree. So, I don't know. Maybe it's like the witch's scent just drives it completely insane, and it just can't control itself when it's confronted with it, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Wilhelm's not dead, thank God. Finally. I was worried, but I didn't really think he died. It would have been such an unceremonious death. There's no way they were actually going to do that, you know? That would have been awful. God, I feel like I should read those the unadapted Wilhelm books or whatever now. That would be, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of extrapolating his feelings and Teresia's feelings so much, just based off like what I think the situation would be that would make the most sense for them to have the emotions that I think they have, I guess. It is so hot right now. I gotta drink a lot of water. I'm sweating. Man, I like how the first ever this episode is so dark. Like it was hard for me to see it several times. I have the light up here. See how like much of a difference, like if I turn it off, like, oh, come on. No, I made it brighter. If I turn it off, it looks like this, right? So I gotta have the light on because it doesn't look good if I don't. But then I just have this giant light, and it's like if I look at near the top part of my screen, it just looks awful. Like I can't see very well because it's like the light is like, you know. So it was hard for me to see a lot of stuff in the dark part of this episode. I just like how the darkness just like, you know, disappears when they've defeated the whale. You know, it's a good, what do you call that? It's not the pathetic fallacy. What would you call it? I don't know. I don't know. Just kind of obvious what they did there, but it looks good to me. Sorry, I just keep having to get drinks of water. Okay. So, Rem is amazing and kind of so like who carried the battle here? It's pretty much Rem, Krush, and Wilhelm, right? Like I really and Subaru, I guess, right? They were the 4 major players here for sure. Um, Apparently Rem can just jump all the way up there by herself, which is crazy, but sure, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, so those two, I guess it's not that those two whales weren't real. I guess it's they do decide that they are like part of his body, I guess, or its body, I suppose. Um, I don't know. It just makes me wonder. Like, is it? I don't know if we'll ever get answers on this. I mean, it's dead now, so I doubt it. I just wonder like how it works, right? Like, is the fog like part of its body, and it can just like, you know how it's done the weird thing where in the fog it has like disappeared and reappeared right next to someone, you know? Can it just like dissipate its own body into the fog and just like be the fog, you know? That's how it split itself up too. I think that'd be cool. I think that makes sense. I mean, who knows? It's dead now. So unless that line about them living in packs was foreshadowing, we're gonna have to fight 10 of them at once in 100 episodes. Man. I feel like there was even more fighting in this one than the last episode, wasn't there? This was action-packed, huh? That sword is very cool. I wonder how the sword works. Is it... Because, like, if it's just the sword itself that does it, then what is it? Is the sword like a metia or whatever that is, right? I don't remember what the exact, like, how that's supposed to work is. Or is the sword just like some kind of vague magical item? Or is it Krush like doing magic through the sword or something? You know? I still guess I just don't understand like what this weird type of magic is, because Puck told us that there's like these different kinds of elements of magic, and your gate has like a specific element, and that's the kind of magic you can use. But then, what is this weird sound magic stuff? Is that even magic? Is that something else that isn't magic? I guess there's like spirit arts and stuff, whatever those even are, you know? So I guess there's other stuff like that that exists, vaguely. I don't know, I just wonder. Did a very good impression of Ricardo there. I don't like these little things still. Something about them just creeps me out. That's for sure. I don't know. They're unsettling. They're in the uncanny valley. I guess I got trolled. I thought when we were talking about light, I thought we were talking about the halo. And in the next shot, we literally see this whale, and it doesn't have the halo in this shot. So I was thinking, oh, we must be, the fake ones must not have the halo, because I wasn't paying attention to that before this shot. Like, I'm sure they had the halo in all the other shots. I just wasn't paying attention to it till right now. And then in this shot, they don't have the halo. So I'm like, oh, okay, that must be it. But no, it's just the eyeball thing. So, unlucky. God, and Wilhelm made it out. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, I guess Ferris heals him up real quick for him to be back at it for the final blows at the end. My God, it is so hot in here. I'm gonna lose my mind. I gotta record this and get out of here. Hmm. And yeah, I guess it has some kind of intelligence to it, which is interesting. We need here's what I want. I want a witch fiend that is like conscious and can talk to us. And I wanna tie it to a chair and question it about the witch. Maybe it'll have some good insight for us. Although it is interesting how the witch fiends are apparently made by the witch, but they also hate the witch, right? Like they try and kill Subaru because he has the witch's scent on him. But I guess like the witch's cult is kind of doing like the same thing with like Amelia, you know? Well, unclear about that, I guess, right? Because they're calling it the ordeals and stuff. It's almost like a rite of passage maybe for Amelia, for them to find out if Amelia's like the chosen one or something. Who knows, you know? For the witch to have a new body, she's going to take over Amelia's or something because she fits like the physical description. Something like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Like, are we just gonna get back to speculating about that? I kind of want to because I'm just thinking of stuff. Like, what would be the witch's motivation then for what's going on here, right? Like, we have the witch's cult that apparently has some kind of connection to the witch in the sense of they're making Amelia. We know about Amelia. Maybe other people like Amelia who look like her, perhaps, who are silver-haired half-elves, go through these ordeals that seemed like they're like tests, right? Like there was something that Pelgi said that made me think it was like tests that they're like putting Amelia through. I don't remember exactly. I mean, just the name, like the ordeals that she has to handle, I guess, you know. Um, and that just makes me think that it's like they're testing Amelia to see if she's like, valid or not, I guess, for something involving the witch, right? And we have Subaru, who we know is actually connected to the witch, and is doing these things. And like in this case, especially, he's doing something that is specifically letting Amelia get through the ordeal. You know what I mean? Like without Subaru here to change it, Amelia would have died and wouldn't have managed to get through the ordeal. You know what I mean? Um, so that just throws the entire thing into question. You know, if the witch's cult has some kind of connection to the witch, and that they know that these ordeals have been passed down to them to put Amelia through to find something out about her, find out if she's, I don't know. It's weird that we know the actual witch themselves is like fighting against that and is intervening to make sure Amelia does get through, like through Subaru's actions, essentially, right? So I don't know. I don't know. And it's like it's so weird because just think back to the Puck thing too. Like about how if Amelia ever dies, Puck destroys the world. Subaru doesn't have a choice but to make Amelia get through these things. You know what I mean? It's really weird. It just makes me think it's like all just some crazy conspiracy, and that whatever Subaru is doing to save Amelia is just so much bigger and so much more important than I think we understand in any way. Maybe that's obvious, right? But it's just so weird that the situation, the way it's been set up, is like this, I guess. Hmm. We get a fist bump. And Krush is carrying with this crazy sword. This is an insane shot. It's the parting of the sea. Man, maybe she should be the ruler. I don't know. I don't know. She's good at it, that's for sure. Right now, she's probably better fit for it than Amelia, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Better at ordering people around, at the very least. Being an inspiring ruler, I suppose. If Krush could make this a campaign video and send it out to people on TikTok, it'd be crazy. She would win. All right, and I just love how Subaru has gone from being a loser that was second guessing his own actions so much and unable to do anything, and the way he was acting in like episode 15 and pretty much every episode between 15 and most of 18, right? Just the way he was acting that whole time, right? Not being able to do anything, basically. And it's like he's now just become the opposite. Like because he is the weakest, like I guess physically, certainly not willpower wise, or in a lot of ways that I think matter more than physical strength. He's like him not giving up is like such an inspiration to everyone else. It's like he's really become the opposite of what he was just a few episodes ago. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It is crazy. It's very inspiring. It's very nice. Again, it just makes me think, like, man, where are we going next with Subaru as a character? You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Because he certainly still has some things that we should talk about, I guess. I think the reasoning that he gives for why he's doing what he's doing, I think, could use some work still. But we'll talk about that in a minute when we get there. Not giving up. Not giving up. Crazy cannons that just look insane. I'm a weakling, a loser, I guess. Just how far he has gone from the way he acted in episode 13. Like, it's just insane. It's just insane. Just like, not even just like his actual actions, but also just like the way he's being perceived by everyone socially. You know what I mean? Like, man. He's made so much progress so quickly. It's kind of crazy, honestly. It kind of makes everything that happened before this arc just feel like, why are we even doing all that? We made so much progress in these episodes. But you can't have arcs like this without the arcs that precede it. This is kind of the payoff for everything we had before. God, and he lands on it. I don't even know. Like, this is crazy. So he jumps off and mentions Return by Death, right? The witch shows up and whispers something in his ear and kind of threatens to kill him again, right? But this is so weird to me, right? Because in my mind, to me, it seems like the witch has to be like keeping a close eye on Subaru in some weird way, right? Like the fact that it knows to come and do this every time he mentions Return by Death, So I think the witch understands his actions and what he's doing, right? Like, the other way you could view this is that the witch is in an endless black void and can't do anything or see anything that goes on. Except when Subaru mentions Return by Death, she gets this weird connection to him and she can do this. And she doesn't actually know what any of his actions are or what he's doing. But that doesn't really make sense, because, like, she killed Amelia that one time when he tried to tell her, So, like, I think she's well aware of what his actions are and what he's doing. It's like she's, like, spectating him at all times. That's kind of just how I'm interpreting it. I don't really have a specific reason to think that other than her doing this every time he mentions Return by Death, right? So it's like, and I think his actions and everything he's doing go along with what the witch wants, which is for Amelia to not die. That kind of, I think they have a shared goal in that. I think they have very different reasons for wanting that. We don't know what the witch wants with Amelia or why that's like a thing. But my wild speculation is that the witch wants Amelia to become the ruler, and the witch is in some way gonna like take over Amelia's body or something, because Amelia has the weird connection to the witch, like looking the same as her and all that stuff, But I mean, literally, who knows? So I guess you would just think that since Subaru is doing stuff that the witch would want in the first place, and I guess I'm just curious why the witch even does this, right? Why does the witch show up and threaten to kill Subaru right now? When he tries to mention Return by Death, when he's in the air, there's no one here to even hear him. And she knows that he's doing this for a reason that is going to further both of their goals. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm overthinking it too much. Maybe the witch isn't actually spectating him at all times, and it is true that it's just him mentioning her gives her like this weird brief connection to the world or something. Like, I just don't know. It's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, and it's also it, and I guess I would kind of think more along that line maybe because it's almost like every time he mentions her, she becomes like more corporeal and more like in the world. You know what I mean? It's like their connection almost deepens or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I'm sure it'll make sense once we understand the full implications of what is going on here, but it's just something to think about, I guess. And I guess at the same time, it's like if the witch has the power to do this weird shit, uh, I don't know. We already talked about this before about how like it doesn't make any sense. If the witch is this all powerful and can kill anyone and do anything like this, then nothing makes any sense because why would she even need Subaru to like do her actions for her? You know, she could just kill the witch cultists herself with her crazy time stop magic hands, crush their hearts. You know, but she obviously needs Subaru to be like a conduit through which she can act. I guess you know. So, hmm, just too early. We just don't know enough, I guess, to like really explain any of it. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. We get the whale down here though. I guess it really just must be driven crazy by the witch's smell and just becomes a wild animal. Just has to chase Subaru. And we knock down the tree on top of it, the flugel tree. Which is kind of crazy. I thought this tree seemed like real important to me, but I guess not. I guess I'm stupid. It's just done. We're gonna knock it down to kill the white whale. I guess, sure. It seems like it should be like a of great importance. It seems so cool. Maybe there's a bunch of giant trees all over the place. Maybe it's nothing special. God, it's insane though. Ah, man. Okay, so we get this scene. So Wilhelm finally is gonna get to take down the whale. We get the scene of him challenging Teresia, right? I guess we don't know what this is exactly, or what this ceremony is that Teresia is going through, because we knew that she was already the Sword Saint before this, right? He calls her out for having been the Sword Saint in the last episode. So, I don't know, just something, some kind of, getting an award for being awesome. And he shows up to duel her, to take her sword from her, which is very interesting, right? And he wins, which surprises me. I did not think he was going to win. Um, but maybe that's I think it's because he has a reason and she doesn't, right? And his reason is to protect her, right? Like, and it's not even just that he's protecting her. It's like she doesn't have a reason to use the sword other than I guess I'm really extrapolating here. I could be completely wrong. I'm just kind of taking it at face value here and like my mind, just what I'm thinking, right? Like I think the only reason why she would be the Sword Saint and like be using the sword all the time if she doesn't actually want to or care about it, which that seems to be her general attitude about it. She doesn't actually have a reason. Then it has to be because she feels pressured to be the Sword Saint because she has such incredible talent, right? Like it's kind of just like it would be a waste for her not to, right? Like I mean, if anything, it's like she might be ostracized if she isn't, right? Like, why would she squander her talent and however much good she can do as the Sword Saint when she has this much talent? You know what I mean? So, it's really, in my mind, it's like Wilhelm, I guess, alleviating that social pressure from her, right? If he can prove that he is better than her, then she doesn't have to feel pressured to be the Sword Saint and to do things that she doesn't want to do, right? I'm really assuming that it's true that she's not actually interested in using the sword or being the Sword Saint, right? She likes flowers. So, like, I guess just the fact that she didn't want to tell him that she's the Sword Saint all that time when they were meeting up in the flower garden and stuff, that kind of shows that she must be displeased with this part of her life, right? With being the Sword Saint. I imagine that she doesn't actually find any real source of identity in it, or that, it's not what she wants to do. She likes flowers, if you know what I mean. Which I guess I'm just kind of taking flowers to just kind of be like a reason that you have to live or something that you like doing, I guess, that like comes from your own volition instead of being like socially determined or something that you're forced into through social pressures, like I think Teresia is with her Sword Saint stuff. Hmm. And I guess he relieves her of that, right? Because he's stronger. So there we go. Hmm. Because I guess it's kind of like it would be the social pressure and kind of just what's kind of scary, I guess, about being the person who's like the strongest. You know what I mean? Like she has to feel greatly responsible for like protecting everyone anyway, even if for her that wasn't a reason to like that wasn't reason enough for her to want to be the sword saint. Um she would still feel like responsible for using her power to do that. You know what I mean? So he's leaving her of that position, I suppose. Hmm. I wonder how strong she is compared to Reinhardt. I wonder how strong Reinhardt is compared to her. I don't know. I don't know. She seemed pretty OP. And so I guess it's time to wildly speculate more about like Wilhelm and Tricia and anything about their situation in which the whale killed her. I guess I just wonder, like, Wilhelm takes so much he views killing the white whale as incredibly important, right? Because I have to imagine that he feels like he failed to protect her from the white whale, right? Like he did this, he relieved her of her position, being the person who's the strongest who has to protect everybody. Because he showed that he was stronger than her by beating her there, right? So he's like, okay, I'll protect you now, right? But he failed, right? He couldn't protect her from the whale, So of course, killing it is incredibly meaningful to him because it's like he's finally trying to make up for what he failed to do back then. I also like if we're going down a really dark path here, I almost wonder too if him doing that, if like he could blame himself because if he made Teresia stop using the sword so much and stop being I guess it's unclear whether or not she stopped being the sword saint, but, if he's the one who took that responsibility on himself and he failed, I wonder if he would blame himself and he would think, like, oh, if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't taken the responsibility to protect her myself, maybe she could have kept that power to herself and had been able to not die to the white whale. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends on, like, what the circumstances in which she died to the white whale are, Like, I don't know. I don't know. I could just imagine that being emotionally rough, I guess. Because I can't really imagine another situation in which she would die to it unless she was fighting it. Like I guess she could have just been standing around and the white whale showed up and one-shot her. But I imagine she was fighting the white whale, And if Wilhelm was the one who was supposed to take her power for her and protect her and he failed, then I think he would blame himself for ever taking that power in the first place. But again, I mean, it entirely depends on what the circumstances were of her death. So we did it. We defeated the white whale. Let's go. Ah, man. We have a good talk with Krush. He's made so much progress with her, hasn't he? It's kind of a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean. Compared to their discussion in, God, whatever episode that was. Was that 14? I think that was that 14 or 15? No, that wasn't 15, right? Because in 15 he was being a little loser. Was that 16? Maybe that was 16. I think that was 16. Hmm. And yeah, it is old Subaru. It is Subaru's achievement. Of course, I still don't think that means it's going to have no impact on Crush's chances of winning, but you know, make Amelia the ruler. And it's interesting. He says, "Not for anyone's sake. It's simply what I want to do," which is an interesting thing to say. Because I guess the reason he's saying it is because he wants to reject the idea that he's doing it for himself, right? Which I agree with. I don't think he's doing it for himself asterisk for like the selfish reasons that he was doing things for himself before, right? I still do think there is a reason he's doing it, right? Like it being what he wants to do is a reason to do it for yourself. You know what I mean? But it's like doing things for yourself doesn't have to be bad, right? Like it can be like what he said in episode 18, for example, was he wants to help Amelia so that he can, be alongside her. Just like something simple like that. So, like, you can do things for yourself, and it's like, it doesn't have to be for the reason he was doing things for himself before, which was to, like, improve his own self-image, right, of himself, right? Um, you can do things for yourself, and that doesn't mean it's automatically selfish. You know what I mean? And at the same time, right, Amelia, of course, doesn't like the idea of Subaru doing everything for her because Amelia doesn't like it when other people get hurt doing things for her, right? Like, obviously, you know? Um, so I guess it's interesting that he says it like this. It kind of just makes me think that in his mind he's trying to downplay all of that and like not think of it in that way. But I think the reality is it is for her and it is for him, and that's like okay, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. It's certainly like it's a good thing to just do what you want to do. Like I guess you know if these are his flowers, then like sounds good to me, right? But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's unfair to say that it's not for anyone's sake. Hmm. And yeah, she pretty much says the exact opposite of what Priscilla said to him in that one episode. Because she'll, you know, what he's done here will never be erased, right? And I think that's kind of what Subaru needs, you know, because I think Subaru's self-image of himself and like the way he thinks about his own actions all the time is that's almost like if he fails in any moment at all, he thinks that just like erases everything he's ever done. You know what I mean? Like that's like why his attitude towards Rim and why like Rim's everything that Rim said to him in episode 18 was so important, you know, because he was overlooking everything he had already done for Rim and how important that was. You know what I mean? So Crush is almost like another layer of that now. You know what I mean? Like what he's done here will never go away. It will always be important. And like even if later on in the future he fails in some way and he's down in a slump again, this isn't just going to be erased, right? Like what he's done here still is meaningful and matters, right? Man, I feel like Crew should be taller than Subaru. She seems like she'd be tall to me. And they're gonna take the White Whale to the capital. I don't know how they're gonna do that. That's gonna be rough. Man, I wonder at Wilhelm, what's he gonna do now? You know, I guess he can just live. He's free. He has been freed. He can enjoy flowers again. I'm sure. and Rim, we were being separated from Rim, which kind of scares me. Like the only reason I wasn't scared at the start of the scene, but we have this giant, incredibly emotional scene, right? Like, Rem is kind of feeling the same way that Subaru has always felt about everything, right? Like, literally, she's pretty much saying the same things that Subaru's always felt. Of course, obviously, Subaru knows how to deal with these kinds of emotions now, thanks to her, so he pretty much knows exactly what to say to her, which is great, right? Yeah, I mean, like literally, just like saying this to her is pretty much exactly what she said to him, you know. So really, they bounce off each other so well in that case. You know what I mean? Huh. Um, but like this just makes me scared. I guess I'm just scared because it makes me think like, are we just gonna be separated from Rim for a long time? You know, like obviously this isn't like Rim's gonna die or something, right? That would be crazy. But it makes me think that Rim, we were gonna be separated from her for a while. We have this crazy giant emotional scene with her right before we're having this parting with her, right? And if we're just gonna meet up with Rim again in 2 episodes, then it's like I don't know. I just it doesn't feel like that kind of scene to me, I guess. So I don't know. Are we it just makes me think about like the future events, like what's gonna happen. We're gonna show up to the mansion and we're gonna have to run away to a different country or something, and I don't know. We're not gonna see Rim for 50 episodes. I don't know. That just kind of scares me. Because like it makes sense too, because it's gonna sound mean to say, but it's almost like Rim has served her purpose in the story for now, right? Sorry, that sounds mean, but like you know what I mean, right? Like everything that Subaru has done for her has reached like its emotional purpose and like character development purpose in the story, right? So what are we going to do with Rem now? You know what I mean? So we have this giant emotional, basically a conclusion to everything that's happened with Rem in this whole arc. And now we're being separated with her, and it worries me that we aren't going to see her for a while. More so, it worries me that like something bad is going to happen when we get back to the mansion. You know? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, has there been any hints or anything? Is something bad gonna happen back at the Capitol? I don't know. I don't. The whale wakes up and starts flying around in the Capitol. They got to fight it again. I mean, I don't. I feel like if the whale woke up in the Capitol, they'd be able to defeat it instantly again, and it's so injured that like that wouldn't matter. So, hmm. How do you have so much energy? I I don't know. These things need to be studied. That's for sure. Whatever they are. And he has backup for the witch's cult. Of course, of course. Ah, and Julius is here, which I'm curious what Subaru's reaction to him will be when he actually talks to him. Obviously, we kind of immediately see him being angry. So, but like I guess that makes sense, right? He hasn't handled the emotions yet, I feel like, Um because it is like it makes sense to me that it's not really something he's dealt with. I'm hoping that Julius will immediately be able to recognize how much of a different person Subaru is right now and how much progress he's made. And I hope Julius's attitude will make a difference in Subaru's attitude towards him. But I guess we'll see, right? Because we know that Julius obviously isn't evil or something by any means, right? He was helping Subaru. So, I guess I'm just curious how we're gonna resolve that, I suppose. I wish Rim was around still, but she left. Man, a wager that defies despair. I guess we did defy despair with a wager. So, that was a really good episode. I really like that one. That was a very good one. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Subscribe, please. We were almost to 300. We're like 8 subscribers away or something. So, subscribe to me, please. Leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.